Greetings and good wishes to everyone from the city of Ratnapura in the Sabragamua province of Sri Lanka. The Convent of the Child Jesus in Ratnapura, Sri Lanka was built and established by the Congregation of the Sisters of Charity of Jesus and Mary, a religious order founded in the 19th century in Belgium by Reverend Peter Joseph Triest and Mother Placide, the co-foundress. For 100 years, this convent has been laboured by the Congregation of the Sisters of Charity of Jesus and Mary and has been a beacon of hope, nurturing countless women in the spirit of compassion and service. Together with the Sisters of Charity, we reflect on their journey of the Convent of the Child Jesus. We honour and salute the generations of remarkable women who have dedicated their lives to the teachings of Christ and the betterment of humanity. Their unwavering commitment has not only shaped the lives of countless individuals, but also the very fabric of society. Today is the 1st of October, and on the feast of Centenary of the Child Jesus, the convent celebrates a legacy that transcends time, a legacy built on prayer, devotion, and the power of love. The Sisters of Charity of Jesus and Mary are celebrating and rejoicing in this heartfelt journey of 100 years, reflecting on memories, stories, and the enduring spirit of this convent, embracing the past while looking forward to a future filled with promise and purpose. As we are heading towards the Convent of the Child Jesus, which is our destination, the road stretched ahead, winding its way through a picturesque countryside, is adorned with trees and flowers. The winding road reveals a breathtaking scenery, and the distant outlines of mountains standing sentinel against the horizon brings a sense of peace. On entering the convent grounds, the serenity of the place gives one the feeling as though we have stepped into a world where time seemed to slow down. The surroundings and beauty of the Convent of the Child Jesus in Ratnapura is more than just a destination. It is an invitation to reflect and to connect. As the Convent of the Child Jesus in Ratnapura celebrates 100 years of service to the people here in Sri Lanka, it is indeed an important day for all of us. So today I have with us Reverend Sister Janita Ragal, the Superior of the Convent of the Child Jesus in Ratnapura, to talk to us on her feelings and her experience today. Dear sister, thank you for joining us today. And my first question to you is, as a superior of this community, what are your feelings? What are you feeling today?
Yes, I'm indeed glad to experience this season of festive. It is indeed, I'm grateful to the Lord for giving us this opportunity to experience such centenary. As a superior of this convent, I'm happy and glad to be here in this event. And also I am much grateful to our sisters, those who rendered their service, our pioneers, for their love and service. We remember them at this moment for their love and service of 100 years. And also I am much happy to express this is the convent of Centenary of the Child Jesus, our patron saint, Centenary. Her intercession also there for us. And also I would like to express, and my prayer is that more laborers may come to our congregation and more vocation may be increased, and we may express our love and service to the people in the future through this mission of love. So I thank you for being with us, with me at this moment, giving me the opportunity to speak to you. Thank you. God bless you.
Walking into this 100-year-old chapel of the Convent of the Child Jesus is like stepping into a time capsule. For the Reverend Sisters, past students, teachers, and all those who were associated with and spent their life in this convent. It is rich with memories and a deep sense of nostalgia. This chapel holds stories of the founding Sisters of Charity who dedicated their lives in 1924 to a mission of faith, service, and community. Upon entering the chapel, the glow of the stained glass windows create an atmosphere in which one can almost hear the echoes of hymns sung long ago, resonating within the walls that have witnessed generations of prayer and devotion. Imagining the founding sisters 100 years ago, one can just picture them in their simple yet graceful robes, their unwavering commitment to their calling, which was evident in their every action. They likely spent countless hours here in this chapel in prayer and reflection, seeking the guidance and strength of God as they laid the foundations for a community that would thrive for decades. Their legacy, preserved in the chapel's serene beauty, serves as a constant reminder of their sacrifices and the values they instilled. The altar and tabernacle adorned with flowers and the lamp reminds us of the Eucharistic presence and also ignites a connection to those sisters whose unwavering faith has shaped not only this sacred space, but also the lives of many who have come to find solace and inspiration within the chapel walls, while contemplating the path of faith and service that continues to unfold the destiny and future of this historic place. This chapel stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of the founding sisters and the community they nurtured, and invites all those who enter here to remember, honor, and carry forward their noble legacy. I now have with me a sister who also happens to be a past pupil of the school. So I have with me Reverend Sister Virginia Daniel to speak to me today. Thank you, Sister, for joining me today to have this little chat. Sister, what is your experience and what do you have to share with us on this important milestone that we celebrate today?
As we celebrate this 100th year of my convent and school, I can say that 50 years ago, when the school and the convent celebrated the Golden Jubilee, I was there as a student and I participated in all the activities and programs. So I am glad to be here 50 years later as a sister of charity to celebrate this 100th anniversary of my school and convent. And I remember with gratitude all the sisters, teachers, and all my friends who were, I was in the hostel, so we were about 80 of us. It was one whole big family. And so I remember with gratitude Sister Michalina, who was in charge of the hostel. She was from Holland. Then Sister Francis Xavier was our principal, and Sister Margaret Mary, who was our teacher. And there were a lot of other sisters who were with us, and I thank them at this moment for the love, protection, guidance and care that they gave us at that time when we were little children. So I received my education, my knowledge, my formation, my faith, all that was developed in this premises, I must say, with all the help given by the sisters, the teachers, and I am glad to be here today to speak on behalf of my convent and school as a past pupil, that sisters who inspired me and who promoted my vocation to be a sister of charity. At that time maybe I saw the spirit, they lived the charism of God's love, and that experience maybe promoted my vocation to say yes to God. So I remember all of them with gratitude and love at this moment of 100 years as we celebrate today.
Sister, thank you for those lovely words. I would like to ask you another question, a message you would like to share for the people regarding the future of this congregation.
My wish and prayer is that more and more young people will be inspired to join the congregation of the Sisters of Charity, to carry on this mission of love and service that God has entrusted to us, not only to this convent but also as a congregation of Sisters of Charity, that we will be able to carry on this work and the mission of love and share this love of God with the people, with the children, with all those who are in need of our love and care. Thank you.
This century-old boarding of the Convent of the Child Jesus carries with it a rich tapestry of history, tradition and values that has deeply impacted the lives of both the sisters and the students. The valuable lessons of the Sisters of Charity taught here at the boarding house of the Convent of the Child Jesus was not limited to just academics, but also the arts, sciences and extracurricular activities, fostering well-rounded individuals. During the last 100 years, the Sisters of Charity ensured that values based on moral and ethical education, rooted in Catholic teachings, were instilled. The students learned about compassion, integrity, service, and respect for others, qualities which guide their moral compass. The sisters instilled a strong sense of belonging and camaraderie in the boarding environment, which fostered strong bonds between students, which in turn resulted in lifelong friendships. The experiences shared in a boarding school often lead to long-lasting friendships that extend beyond graduation. We now have the former superior and a senior member of the community, Reverend Sister Rosemarina Kakulavala. Sister, thank you for joining us today. So I would like to ask you, during these celebrations, the 100 years we are celebrating today, what are you feeling? What is this experience like?
I feel very happy to be a member of this community and also to belong to the family of Sisters of Charity, and blessings that He had showered upon for the 100 years. I really reflect and thank the Lord for the blessings, numerous blessings that He has given. I also celebrated my 60 years of religious life, and I am very happy at the same time to celebration of my jubilee also.
Being a senior member of the community, sister, what is your message to all of us watching us today?
I like to share the experience that I went through in my life with the people, and to tell the people the God's love, how God has taken care of us, and He had blessed us with the pioneers and all the sisters who worked for 100 years, and to tell others to come and join us to continue our work.
I now have with me the sister who is in charge of the home of St. Vincent's girls, which is also a part of the community. So I have with me Reverend Sister Clarine Cabral. Thank you, sister, for taking the time to speak to me today. Sister, in terms of this home for girls, how long have you been taking care of this home?
I have been serving this community 28 years. And I love my sisters and my apostolate very much. I am totally depending on God. Always I think of Jesus and asking help from Him only. I never ask any help from people, only I ask Jesus to help me. So totally I am depending on God.
Sister, what about these children? Do they have parents? Do they have families? Or are you the mother figure to these children in the home?
Always I am with the children. I go for prayers only. And I think if I go anywhere, children will go stay. So they are happy. They don't like if I go anywhere. They want me to stay with them. I also never think of going anywhere. I always like to be with them because their happiness is being with them myself.
Finally, sister, do you have any message you would like to share with the community and the past pupils for what needs to be done for the betterment of the home?
I think I ask God to send more people to serve these children who loves them and care for them.
Now I have with me Reverend Sister Anastasia Pereira, former Provincial Superior of the Province of Sri Lanka, to share her thoughts on this glorious day. Thank you, sister, for speaking to me today. And as we know, the convent and the community is celebrating 100 years. So let's talk about your journey with the Sisters of Charity. What has this journey been like to you?
Thank you, Mariela. It's something I would like to do. I would love to do actually. When I look back on my life, I was quite a sportive kind of person and nobody really thought that I would join the convent. Actually, apart from my immediate family, I think everyone else was kind of shocked that this lady was going to try to spend the rest of her years behind bars, as they thought, because my desire was to join a contemplative order. And having searched different places, I ended up with the Sisters of Charity of Jesus and Mary for a number of reasons. One was at that time, which was before Vatican II, it was very contemplative and much less action. But now we are contemplatives, taking our action based on that foundation, right? Secondly, because of the charism of our founder, Father Peter Joseph Trist, who was a priest in Belgium, who after the French Revolution in 1789, I think, decided to form a group of women, bring them together to work for the poor, the abandoned, the unfortunate children who were wandering the streets of Belgium, especially Louwendegem. So that appealed to me very much. His words was to see the face of Christ in these abandoned children. So that attracted me to some extent, though I learned about it only later. We didn't study our charism initially. So I found myself here. And there are some connections with the congregation. My aunt, Sister Damien, was a sister of charity, was a superior here in Ratnapura. A cousin of my father's, Mother Mary Ann, the first provincial of the Sisters of Charity, was also, I think, one of the first superiors here. So there were links with the family and they felt comfortable, and I decided finally to come here.
Sister, you mentioned that you were heavily involved in sports back in your time at school. Let's elaborate on that, Sister, because it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, it was because my sister and I, my sister Auntie and I, we were the only female members of a boys' club, and there were 60 boys. So because we played against men, our game became very good. And both of us ended up as national champions for Sri Lanka in badminton. So also netball and things like that in school.
Sister, how would you express your sentiments on this important juncture of the convent and the community celebrating 100 years?
Well, I wasn't there at the beginning, obviously. 100 years is a long time for the charism to be alive in this area of Ratnapura. We came here from Mathura, and we were called here by the Jesuit fathers to start an English school for ladies, young girls, women, and at the same time to start a creche for abandoned children. And so three things: have the school, have the creche, and have the community convent, right? So the creche also goes back to the same amount of years, of 100 years, and many unfortunate or underprivileged children from the environment and from different parts of Sri Lanka have been cared for and guided in their lives by the sisters who looked after them in St. Vincent's home. And I think you spoke to Sister Clarine and you see her commitment and dedication, right, to the less privileged. And a credit to her and to all those who have worked in this field is the fact that these young girls and all those who've gone through the home are now holding very good positions. They have been trained very well. Sister spares nothing to give them the best in the field of whatever apostolate they choose. So we have nurses, we have lawyers, we have engineers, we have teachers, policewomen too, I think, who have come from the home. We don't call it a home now, from the girls' home in St. Vincent's.
Sister, having been the former provincial superior, what are your aspirations for the future of the community?
I will take two parts to answer that, Mariella. First one is, the sisters have lived their charism to the full, and I would love to see others joining us to live this charism in the care of the abandoned, the poor, the vulnerable, right? And I think many of us, when we were young sisters, we were very edified by the lives of our missionary sisters. And I can just name just a few that I myself knew, like Sister Conleth and Walter, Gethsemane, and Joseph. And Joseph, by the way, built about 11 chapels in the plantation area with the help of her friends. Sister Michelina used to walk to the government hospital. She was a nurse. Sister Thomas More used to cycle to the hospital. She was also a nurse. Sister Amelie did the kitchen, and Sister Conleth was there, and Sister Amori. So much of them who had come over to Sri Lanka when they were young girls, young women, right? Gave their lives for us. Some of them died here, and some died quite young. So that was very impressive for me in my life, because we used to visit here as children. My aunt, Sister Damien, who was based here. Now, what I would like to see in the future when we are celebrating these 100 years, I hope I'm not being too presumptuous in saying that I would love to see more and more young people committing themselves to live this kind of life and to serve the poor, the abandoned, and to give up themselves. It's not easy. I have been provincial. You asked me that question earlier, Mariella. I was provincial for 3 terms. That makes it around 12 years. And I was on the general government for 6 years in Brussels. So I've had a very wide experience, and I think some people think you give up something to join the convent. I personally drove myself in my car to come to the convent at the age of 19, so I don't think I gave up anything. I know my brothers wanted the car, but apart from that, I have received so many blessings and riches, I can't count them. And once you say, if you give to God 100-fold, He gives you 1,000 times more. And that's what I feel. Thank you very much, Mariella, and God bless you. And thank you, I want to thank you personally and your family for having had this idea of sharing with the world what the Sisters of Charity are doing, simply because your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and your mom's grandmother were all students here. And one of them, the great-grandmother, was the first student of Ratnapura. So our ties go far back, and it's wonderful to see your gratitude, and we appreciate that very much. Thank you. God bless you.
Now that we have spoken to a few of the sisters from the community, it is time we hear from their leader. So allow me to introduce Reverend Sister Patsy Pichai, Provincial Superior of the Sisters of Charity, Sri Lanka Province. Hello sister, thank you very much for joining me today to speak to us on this wonderful and momentous occasion where the community celebrates 100 years. So sister, you are a past pupil of the school, a past teacher, a lay teacher as well, and you are also a superior, a former superior, and now you are the provincial superior. So sister, I would like to know, on this occasion, what exactly do you feel? What are your sentiments?
I can sing with Mother Mary. My soul glorifies the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. That will be my response to this question. And I am really grateful to God. And it is His grace has brought me to this end. And to be such a person, I don't know, it's only God's grace. And I am grateful to God. And my life needs to be one act of gratitude for all what I receive from Him. And especially at this juncture when the Convent of the Child Jesus celebrates 100 years, it's my second home. So I'm really happy. It's a joyful day for me. Again, I can say only thank you, Lord, for your grace and for your everlasting love towards me and towards our sisters.
That's lovely, sister. So I would like to ask you, what made you choose the life of a religious, and why did you choose this particular congregation? Because in Sri Lanka, sister, we have many congregations, not just in the country but around the world. So what made you choose this congregation?
It's a good question to ask, yeah. Because my childhood, I have lived with the sisters, and also at home also family, like we are a praying family, and my grandparents used to say a lot of stories about the saints and how they lived only for Jesus, and without my knowing even, I had an attraction towards this life, even to become religious. Even I have played like making chapels and praying. Then because I knew Sisters of Charity and their love and how they care for us. And I remember one Sister Anne Joseph, our music teacher, when it is drizzling even, she used to stand near the door at the music room door, and she covers us with the raincoat and she sends us. So we experience only love and concern. And all the sisters, I can mention so many names. So I was really attracted to these sisters, and I wanted to become a Sister of Charity, and here I am. Yeah.
Sister, going into my next question, from back in the day when things were, you have seen how things have evolved to where we are now, especially in the year 2024. Sister, do you think there is an increase in young girls in wanting to join the Sisters of Charity?
Yeah, there was a time that girls chose to enter religious life, but now it is decreasing, because one of the reasons is family, because there are only two children, one boy and one girl, or two girls, or sometimes only one child. So if the child wants to enter, even the parents, they don't want to give. And at the same time, now those days we prayed at home. Always we had a family rosary, and the parents, they told us a lot of religious stories. Now I won't say all the families they are not doing, but most of the families, that environment is not there. So the children are not attracted to this religious life, but still there are children who really want to follow Christ, and they have said yes, and still they are coming into our congregation. So I'm grateful to God for this.
And on a good note to end things, sister, I would like to ask you, to everyone watching us today, not just in Sri Lanka, but to everyone watching us from around the world, and I think everyone would like to hear your closing remarks and your message to our audience, and what would you like to tell everyone watching us today that, about how this institution, this convent, this community is celebrating 100 years of service? It's a long period of time. What are your sentiments, sister?
When I look back, it's like a dream anyway. I never thought that I will be alive for 100 years and I will be religious and also now as a provincial to this beautiful congregation, and in my time this celebration also. So it is all, it's God's grace once again. And what I would like to say to our sisters also, to be grateful for all what we have received from the Lord. And I am grateful to the community sisters of Ratnapura, because there are only 5 now. Whereas in my time when we were young sisters, we were 13 or 14, 15 like. So, but being 5 sisters, they have really worked hard to make this day a beautiful day. So I say thank you to them, and at the same time, I ask them to be grateful to God for giving strength and courage to do this, and to the young girls to have courage to say yes to the Lord for His call, and to experience this joy. Really, this life is a joyful life. We are really happy, really, it's not a pretension, really that real joy we experience. So I invite others also to come and join us to experience that joy.
Thank you very much, sister. And as we are concluding this wonderful conversation, I would like to wish you and the community the absolute best, and may all of God's choicest blessings be upon you and the rest of the community for many, many more years of good health to continue the good work of the Lord here in Sri Lanka.
Priyanti, I take this opportunity to thank you and your daughter Mariela also for coming here all the way from Colombo to support us and help us to join with us in this celebration. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
You're most welcome, Sister Janita. It's my great pleasure, not only mine but our entire family, to be a part of this celebration of the 100 years, this milestone, because I have a lot of connections with the Sisters of Charity and the Ratnapura Convent. My grandmother being the first boarder, Mrs. Mercy Malavana, and my mother, Reeni Malavana, then later on Senaviratna, and all her siblings, many of her cousins, my grandaunt, who have all been part of this institution. And so Ratnapura Convent and whatever they have received from the school has been very much part of our life, even though I attended St. Bridget's Convent. But we have learnt a lot about the connections of the Ratnapura Convent. And I'm also happy to say today I found the tree which was planted, the na tree which was planted by my grandmother on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of the school. So I was very happy to discover that. I wish the congregation God's choicest blessings as you continue to serve Him through your ministry and the apostolates, and wishing you all God's graces in the coming years to serve Him and the society, and God bless you all.
As hundreds of sisters, past and present students of the Convent of the Child Jesus reflect on the incredible journey of the past 100 years, undoubtedly it has been a century of faith, service and unity, marked by countless stories of devotion and inspiration. The convent celebrates the enduring legacy of those who came before 100 years ago, the founding sisters of charity. Their dedication and hard work, which laid the foundation upon which they continue to build for the future. While this centenary has been a time for joyful reminiscing, it is also a moment to look forward towards the future. May the values that have guided the Convent of the Child Jesus for a century continue to reach out to those in need and remain steadfast in its commitment to the legacy of the founders. May the light of the pioneering sisters and their vision guide the Convent of the Child Jesus into the next 100 years. Thank you and God bless you all.